Ever found yourself in a situation where your pet needs urgent medical attention, or maybe you've got a dental emergency and the cost is just daunting? We've all been there. And in those moments, you might have thought about financing options like CareCredit. But then the little voice in your head whispers, what if my credit isn't good enough? That's exactly what we're tackling today. Can you get CareCredit with bad credit? Let's be real, credit scores can feel like this huge, judgmental cloud hanging over our financial lives. A lower score can make it seem like so many doors are closed. And when it comes to healthcare expenses, which are often unexpected and substantial, that feeling can be even more stressful. So, if you're worried about your credit history affecting your chances of getting CareCredit, you're not alone. It's a valid concern, and we're going to break it down for you. First, what exactly is CareCredit? Simply put, it's a credit card specifically designed for healthcare expenses. Think of it as a line of credit you can use for everything from doctor's visits and dental work to veterinary care, and even cosmetic procedures. One of the biggest draws of CareCredit is the potential for promotional periods with deferred interest. This means if you pay off your balance within the specified time frame, you won't be charged any interest. This can be a huge help when dealing with larger medical bills. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Do you need perfect credit to qualify? The short answer is no, you don't necessarily need perfect credit. But, and this is a big but, your creditworthiness does play a significant role in the application process. CareCredit, like any other credit card provider, will review your credit history to assess the risk of lending to you. They'll look at factors like your credit score, your payment history, your debt-to-income ratio, and the length of your credit history. So, what does this mean for you if you have less than perfect credit? It means it might be a bit more challenging, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's impossible. Let's delve into some scenarios. If you have a credit score that's considered fair or even slightly below average, you might still be approved for CareCredit. However, the terms of your approval might be different. You might be offered a lower credit limit, or you might not qualify for the promotional periods with deferred interest. Essentially, the lender is taking on more risk, so they might offer less favorable terms. Now, if your credit score is significantly lower, or if you have a history of missed payments or defaults, it becomes more difficult to get approved. This isn't unique to CareCredit. Most lenders would be hesitant in this situation. But even in this scenario, there are still some things you can consider. One option is to explore secured credit cards. These cards require a deposit up front, which acts as your credit limit. This can be a great way to rebuild your credit over time, and after a while, you might be in a better position to apply for CareCredit. Another thing to consider is addressing any negative marks on your credit report. Sometimes, errors can occur, so it's always a good idea to review your credit report and dispute any inaccuracies. This can potentially improve your credit score and increase your chances of approval. It's also important to be realistic about your financial situation. Even if you're approved for CareCredit, it's crucial to make sure you can afford the monthly payments. Falling behind on payments can further damage your credit and lead to hefty interest charges. Carefully consider your budget and make sure you're comfortable with the repayment terms. Now, let's talk about some specific things that can impact your CareCredit application. A recent bankruptcy, for example, can significantly affect your chances of approval. Lenders see this as a major red flag, as it indicates a history of financial difficulty. The same goes for a large amount of outstanding debt. If your debt-to-income ratio is high, meaning a large portion of your income goes towards paying off debts, lenders might be hesitant to extend you more credit. Another factor is the length of your credit history. If you're relatively new to credit, you might have a thin credit file, which can make it harder to get approved. Lenders prefer to see a longer track record of responsible credit management. So, what can you do to improve your chances of getting CareCredit, even with less than perfect credit? First and foremost, focus on improving your credit score. This takes time and effort, but it's well worth it in the long run. Make sure to pay all your bills on time, every time. Even one missed payment can negatively impact your credit score. Keep your credit utilization low, meaning the amount of credit you're using compared to your available credit. And avoid applying for too many credit cards in a short period of time, as this can also raise red flags. Another strategy is to consider applying with a cosigner. If you have someone with good credit who's willing to co-sign for you, it can significantly improve your chances of approval. The co-signer is essentially guaranteeing the loan, which reduces the risk for the lender. Finally, be honest and upfront about your financial situation. When you apply for CareCredit, be prepared to provide accurate and complete information. Trying to hide anything or misrepresent your financial situation will only hurt your chances. Now, let's circle back to the original question. Can you get CareCredit with bad credit? The answer, as you can see, is not a simple yes or no. It depends on the severity of your credit issues and your overall financial picture. While having bad credit can make it more challenging, it's not always a deal breaker. Focus on improving your credit, explore different options, and be realistic about your financial capabilities. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.